Okay, so we are back. Um, right now I'm looking at Francis Faculty's screen, and we're going to talk about the award life cycle in Cayuse Sponsor Projects 4.0. So looking in as Frankie, we can now see that that proposal that we created earlier is now funded. So we want to go and look at the award associated. So here's our award record. And for the faculty members who might see this, a little bit different than you're used to seeing in Sponsored Projects 3.9. You do have your own dashboard just for awards. And here's what Frances sees on her dashboard. Our different statuses, setup in progress is the award records being created, in review and negotiation, going through any institutional review it needs, negotiations with sponsors, subawardees, that kind of thing. Active, you're ready to spend and do all your research. In closeout, your award end date has happened, and you do have a period of time to do closeout, final invoices, final drawdowns, that sort of thing. And then closed, you've done your work, you've spent your money, and you're in that closed status. So Frances, she's doing her thing. She's researching the effects of gamma rays on man in the moon marigolds. And she needs a modification made to her award, right? This is a record of the award as it stood on the day that the award record was made. But let's say we need to make a change to this. In our people section, we had our PI as Frances, and Frances had a co-PI named Faculty Test. And maybe something's happened. Faculty Test has left the institution, and we now have a replacement co-PI that we want to add. And so as a PI, I don't have the ability to make a change to this award. How do I know? How do I notify the Sponsored Projects Office? If I make a task, and we talked about the tasks on the home page and the My Tasks area, and the tasks in proposals and awards are the same. I choose that task. And remember, I can send a task to anyone that has a profile in Sponsored Projects. But as Frankie, I'm actually going to send that task to me so I can show you what it looks like on the other side. And make it due date for tomorrow. And you'll notice that it automatically appends the URL for the award that I'm in. I'm going to assign and send that task. So as the PI, I can see that task. I can see that it's open. I know that it was sent. Your administrator, or if you are the administrator, you will receive an email that looks like this. A new task has been assigned to you. Dear Vicky, Francis Faculty has assigned you the task Replace PI with Jackie Stelling with a due date of tomorrow. Click to view your assigned tasks. If I click on that, it is going to take me directly into the award record that I am already logged into. So it is going to take me to this screen. and I can see that task, right? I can also see that task on my home screen, right? So I've gotten an email about it. It's on the award record. It's on my home screen. And within sponsored projects, when I click it, it'll take me into that. It's also going to show up in this my tasks right now. I've already opened it, so it says no outstanding tasks, but it'll show there as well. And then once I've completed that task, I can change its status to closed. And I'm going to complete that task right now. So I'm going to go back to my award form. So again, PIs will, members of the research team, faculty members, reviewers, they're not going to be able to do this, but I want to show you what your administrator is going to be doing, or if you're the administrator, how you'll do this task. So you're going to select Modify Award, and you're going to select one of the modification reasons. If the reason that you need is not in this list, administrators, please check with your system administrator. They can add it to the list. But in this case, it's a personnel change. And this could be a personnel change, could be it's a no-cost extension, so you're extending dates. Maybe there's some kind of revision, budget revision, and you need to make changes in the budget screen. Whatever it might be, you have the ability to do this modification and make that change. So I'm going to go to my people, and I'm going to scroll down. So we want to remove faculty test as the PI. And then we want to add a new team member. As that co-PI, we want to identify their internal association and give them some credit. Everything has been saved. And that was the only change that I intended to make. So at this point, I can set this modification to be the active version of the record. It's a personnel change, and I can put a note in. Well, I have to put a note in, but what I put is going to be dependent on why we're making this. So I'm just going to put co-PI change at PI request. Okay. And so you can see that that top is now the current active version of the award. On my award history, you can see that award modified reason personnel change, as well as that note. The task is complete, but I can still see it on my tasks list. I change my default from open to all, and Frances can see it as well on hers. Now, what does this look like on the dashboard now? Let's go on out to the awards dashboard. So for this award for Francis, in my view, because I still have everybody else's there, I see that caret next to it. I also see that it now ends in a 0001-1, telling me this is modification number 1. If I select that caret, it's going to drop down and show me the previous modifications. So if I was on modification 4 and hit that drop down, it would show me 3, 2, 1, and 0. Looking at it from our PI's perspective is the same, right? We see that caret, we can click that drop down, and we can look at the previous version of the record by opening the current modification. And if we want to see the previous version, we just toggle it to the previous version. And then we're looking at the previous information. Right? Faculty test. But if I look at modification number 1, and that one's showing me Jackie. Right? So no matter what you change, it's going to give you new information in the modification, but it's going to retain the previously entered information in the -0 version of that award. Other things for the PIs, this is the attachment area. Anything that shows a hyperlink on the locations area of this sort of attachment summary. Those things were attached within the form record. And if you click on it, it will take you to the section of the form where it was attached. You also may see things that were attached at the attachment tab itself. Okay. So you can drag and drop or click and upload. I'm trying to pick one I haven't already put on there. So if we look here, we can see the one that I attached here shows the name of the document, the attachment type that I selected from that drop-down list, date and time, the person who attached it, and that it was done here at the tab. So for those of you who are PIs, you can add attachments. You can also add notes if you have a reason to add a note. We've already seen you can add those tasks. So while PIs can't create an award record for themselves, admins do have to do that for you. But if you have additional documentation to attach, you can do that at the attachment tab. So there may be a circumstance where an administrator needs a document for you while they're creating your award record. They may send you a task. If it's to attach a document, you can do that here at the attachments area of the award record. You can also attach documents to a task itself. by clicking down here where it says add attachments. And then I can hit assign and send. So now Vicky has that task to complete. I go back to being myself here. So I got that email saying I have that new task. It's going to be on my home screen. I just want to show you. It's on that home screen. Okay, so let's go back into that and go back into the tasks. So here's that attachment, that task from Frances. And there's the attachment that she added. So I can download this and attach it elsewhere, either in the form itself or on the attachment tab. Then go ahead and mark that as closed. There's a couple things to talk about that I can't show you all the detail on yet, but here on the Funds tab, with our Fund Manager product, you can see the current drawdown or spend down rate on your award funds. If you have subawards, that information is going to be captured on this subawards task. And for my administrators, once we're at the end of the award and you've confirmed that the award date has passed, as an administrator, you can move that from active to in closeout. Again, comments should be, something that makes sense for why you're doing what you're doing when you're doing it. And then you'll be in closeout for 60 days or so. And then you can move it to closed. All records that are closed in the system, proposals, awards, or projects require a resolution. This is the reason why it's being closed. And each one of those things, proposals, projects, and awards, have a different list of things that is the reason why something is closed. In this case, I'm going to mark it as complete, but a funded but not completed project might have been unable to negotiate. The sponsor wanted a term or a condition that your institution couldn't agree with, and so you refused to accept the award and marked it unable to negotiate. Hopefully, won't have too many times when something gets administratively closed and the sponsor says, thank you, you're done. We will not be giving you any more money. Or, your PI left the institution and the institution's keeping the award. Could be a variety of things. In this case, it's complete. And then we're going to put in all final reports. Or whatever our comment might be. So we can see that in here. It's in that closed status. And just quickly, I want to show you reporting from the PI's perspective, but administrators, you have the same thing, only you see more in your reporting because it is based on what you have the ability to see in the system. So for Frances here, let me hop over to being Frances. As you can see, Frances has one award record that she's part of. All told, in the training environment right now, we have a little over 1,000 awards in the system. So if I were to demonstrate with my user, because I'm an administrator and I can see everything, Word might take a little while. But with Frances only having one, we should see this pretty quickly. All right, so here is our award report for Frances. You'll notice that it's showing us both the original award as well as the modification. So if you're using this reporting to create a current and pending or something like that kind of a document, just make note of modifications so that you don't accidentally duplicate the information, count it as 2 awards when it's only 1. There's a certain set of fields that are sort of defaulted here in the award or in the award report. But that does include these the modification information. So we can see which one was the original award, which one was modification, why, the date, and the person who made the modification. By clicking this little fields icon, I can add additional fields or remove fields from my report. To search for any specific field, I'm just going to click on my little icon here, my little search icon. I'm sorry, it's being slow right now, but I search on that and I can search for any field that's in my form to add it into my reporting. And one of those is that resolution. So there's a form field in that list called resolution. And if I click that, I can sort my report by why something was closed, right? I can also sort my report by modification reasons. I can sort by date. Every field that I include in my report is going to have this little cog that I can click on and filter the information that I am pulling into my report. And then once you've finished your report, you can export it. And if you choose to export it, you have the opportunity to export it in a CSV file, as a PDF. So lots of different ways that you can get that information. This one was the award report. There's also the proposal report. So I want to thank everybody for your time and attention in these recordings. Please reach out to your admin team if you have any questions. And I really hope that you like Sponsored Projects 4.0 as much as I do, and that you're successful in all of your proposals that you submit. Have a fantastic day.